How's it going, everybody? Rob here, back with another video. And you know what? Oh my gosh. This is one of those things I never look forward to reacting to, but, you know, what the hell. This is part 2 of the women as background decoration from Anita Sarkeesian's Feminist Frequency. This should be interesting, to say the least. Good lord. By the way, I want to point out, you know, something that I kind of made as a hypothetical is like, to an extent, especially with, you know, the fact that with a lot of these games, you know, in terms of like character design and so on, that the fact that, you know, it's not just men that play these games, it's also women. And more likely, there are some women that, you know, in terms of, in terms of like, the game, I mean, they play just to play the game, not for, you know, the background characters and so on, which for some reason, time and time again, Anita has tried to make the argument that, you know, this has correlated into real world situations involving women, which no, it hasn't. Anyway.
Pour and have a good time.
Okay.
Welcome to the second part of our mini-series examining the women as background decoration trope in video games. I need to stress that this video comes with a content warning and is not recommended for children.
Okay.
The game footage I'll be showcasing will be particularly graphic and include scenes of extreme violence against women.
Okay.
I define the women as background decoration trope as the subset of largely insignificant, non-playable female characters, whose sexuality or victimhood is exploited as a way to infuse edgy, gritty, or racy flavoring into game worlds.
I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, if there's a game where it's like a cyberpunk game, where you have people that are... Or actually, no. Better example, because I think I used this last time. Because you have games like GT that basically make fun of like the whole crime scene or like the crime genre in a lot of movies, books, so on. And in terms of like, I mean, showing particular characters doing a certain thing in a video game, I mean, it's in a sense kind of setting up, you know, in a sense, what kind of city you're in, right? But it's like infuse edgy, gritty, racy flavors. But here's the thing, though. It's like, are you going to hyper focus on, you know, these particular elements, or are you just going to play the game? I mean, that's literally what a lot of people are going to do, is just play the game. Are you? Can you interact with a hooker? Yeah, in the game you can, but you're not going to hyper focus on that. Now, are you?
These sexually objectified female bodies are designed to function as environmental texture, while titillating presumed straight male players. In our last video, we discussed the concept of sexual objectification, and looked at a specific subset of non-essential female characters, which I classify as non-playable sex objects.
Which, to an extent, I mean, we basically, you know, called out your bullshit on. Anyway.
In this episode, we will expand our discussion of the women as background decoration trope to examine how sexualized female bodies often occupy a dual role as both sexual playthings and the perpetual victims of male violence.
Good lord.
Are you here for the whore?
Aiutatemi!
I have your money. Let her go. No! Take it up with Cesare!
Wasn't that a mission to try to save a woman from the slave trade? Like, it's been a while since I played, because I think this might have been Brotherhood. But wasn't that a mission to try to save a woman? Why is that I mean, I'm sure Anita's going to find some.
The use of sexual or domestic violence as a form of scaffolding to prop up dark and edgy environments has become a pervasive pattern in modern gaming.
Okay.
Well, if it isn't the long lost Andrew Ryan. Come here, Tiger. I thought you had forgotten about poor Jasmine, but I am so glad you didn't. I'm sorry, Mr. Ryan. I didn't know. Fontaine had something to do with it. What are you doing? No, don't, please. I loved you, don't, please, no.
Oh. Oh, God.
The marketing blitz surrounding the release of the 2006 game Hitman Blood Money featured several advertisements depicting the murdered bodies of sexualized women with captions like, "Beautifully executed." Even in death, these lingerie-clad women are posed provocatively in a way designed to sexually arouse straight male viewers.
I'm sure women were, to an extent. But I would have to guess there were some women that, looked at that and be like, okay. Again, am I going to hyper... It's just a fucking advertisement. Am I going to hyper-focus on it? No. If anything, I'd be curious as to... I think my initial thing is, like, what is it actually connected to? Is it actually connected to a video game, a movie, whatever? And then I think ultimately that is kind of set the course of people actually looking to see what the advertisement is about. Not, and I will say the unfortunate fact is, sex sells. That's the unfortunate fact of this reality, is that sex for a long time has, helped sell a variety of different products.
If we compare the Hitman ads featuring female victims to those featuring assassinated men, we immediately notice that male characters are not displayed in sexualized clothing or positions. Maimed female bodies, on the other hand, are often fetishized and sexually objectified. The 1940s pulp novel-inspired L.A. Noire used similar images in some promotional materials displaying the sexualized dead bodies of murdered women as a selling point for the game. This drop-dead gorgeous trope, as it's called, is commonly used in other forms of mass media, especially in fashion advertising.
Was that for Dexter?
It is the collusion of violence done to women's bodies, and the fact that it is often sexualized. The idea being that a dead woman is still inherently beautiful, even if her body has been maimed, her life stolen from her. Something arousing still remains available for male consumption.
To who, actually? If you really think about it.
Oh, that's one less elf breeder in the world.
A shame, though. Nice body on that one.
She's still warm. How picky are you,
That's a no.
Anyway.
Developers regularly utilize the brutalization of women's bodies, and especially the bodies of female prostitutes, as an indicator of just how harsh, cruel, and unforgiving their game worlds are.
I mean, you just kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, to an extent, a lot of the worlds that, you explore are harsh. They are cruel. And there's a lot of things wrong with them. I noticed in a couple of clips you used Dishonored. Considering the kind of setting that it has for the first game, where it's a world that's basically dealing with a massive plague that has half of the city basically on lockdown. And in terms of particular individuals, or at least women in this instance, taking on whatever job they can. I mean, it's fucked up, but at the same time, it makes sense. It makes sense for the setting. I think with a lot of people, do we agree with the job that they're taking on? No. But at the same time, we understand.
In some of the most pernicious examples, dead or mutilated female bodies are used to decorate virtual game environments as a way to invoke a sexually charged, creepy mood or edgy atmosphere.
No.
Mafia 2: Joe's Adventure includes a gun battle which takes place over the dead body of an exotic dancer, who moments earlier was performing a routine for the player. A grisly example can be found in Bioshock 2, where mutilated, eroticized female bodies are seen scattered throughout the Pink Pearl Bordello area in Siren Alley.
I mean, that just goes to show how much of a dystopian area it is. At the end of the day, it does seem like that this... I mean, in terms of these scenarios, it just goes to show, again, how far some of these locations have gone, or what they've gone through. Again, do we agree with some of the things? Are we horrified? I mean, yes. First, do we agree? with some of the things that were going on. No. But at the same time, we understand. And in terms of this, I want to say, in terms of the scenario of the player getting involved, we see all this and we're mortified by what's going on. We're not sexualized, we're mortified. I mean, you're going to have that one weirdo, but you can't claim everybody is the same way.
Again, we can compare the way the murdered male bodies are displayed and notice the distinct lack of sexualization in their presentation. The male corpses may be designed to evoke a sense of horror or disgust, but it's not coupled with elements of sexual titillation in the same way that female bodies are. While playing, gamers are routinely forced to...
Wait, hold on. That person was, like, stabbed in the throat. How is that sexualized? Like, what?
Witness graphic scenes of violence against female NPCs, as these acts are committed in real time by other game characters. The opening sequence in Prototype, for instance, depicts the execution of a nameless crying woman, her dress ripped suggestively to reveal her garter belt. A similar technique is used to set the mood in the darkness too.
Hi, Jackie. Remember us from the Candy Club? Well, do you?
This was such a good game. It really sucks that we never got a third game.
Sure.
The opening scene features two women flirting with the player in first person, before they are both slaughtered in front of you.
Oh, shit! Jackie, get down!
I mean, the Brotherhood have, to an extent, you talk about them, or at least kind of showcase them in the previous video. The people that did that were called the Brotherhood, and they had no qualms of, both killing women and men. Mainly because their main goal, their ultimate goal, was to obtain the darkness, which our main character, Jackie Estacado, had for that game. So, to an extent, regardless of, hell, they basically just, to hide from suspicion, they, ran a brothel for a time. Again, terrible people doing terrible things.
During one mission in Far Cry 3, players watch from the sidelines as a pimp beats up a female prostitute of color in a shantytown.
Where's my fucking money, bitch?
I don't feel good.
I got your medicine.
Please don't.
Take it, you little shit. No money. What's this, huh? You're worthless whore. You're fucking pathetic. You're lucky I don't kill you.
The women who fulfill this trope in gaming universes are sometimes designed to occupy minor narrative roles, but more often than not, they're just hollow shells, empty representations with little to no personality or individuality to...
It's almost like they are a non-playable character, and to an extent, they aren't real. I think that's the biggest thing that we need to grasp, is especially, people like Anita Sarkeesian and other people should have grasped, is that, the characters that are displayed, although, in terms of, like, certain games, there are times where people do get emotionally invested. There's a lot of times, especially with games, they're not real. We may enjoy a video game, but in no way does it grasp any form of reality. Because, again, it's a video game. It's fictional. Nothing that happens anything that happens in a video game does not happen in real life. But anyways.
Speak of. Red Dead Redemption includes multiple depictions of assaulted female prostitutes. In the Stranger Side mission Ava in Peril, the protagonist happens upon a Mexican prostitute being beaten.
Sí, tú eres puta! Hey, Migo, give it a rest. Enough.
Don't you get to kick the guy's ass?
Stop hitting the girl. There, you happy now?
The player can choose to buy her from her abuser for $200 to stop the attack, though she is later murdered by her assailant anyway.
You like her? You can have her. Yeah, she's pretty clean and pretty dirty also, huh? She's yours for $200 American dollars.
Mario, you are evil.
No, Eva, I'm just a cowherd who can no longer afford the cattle.
Rape and sexual assault are also frequently used as a sort of narrative currency to try and raise the emotional stakes and heighten the dramatic tension for gamers.
Давай, mama, come on, spread them legs.
Oh, please, don't. No!
Корова! What? You think you're too good for us?
No! Please! Please help! Ah!
Quiet, you sucking a bitch! Shut the fuck up!
These brutal scenes often occur as scripted events, triggered when the player enters particular areas.
I can't do this! I can't do this! Help!
Scripted events are typically not part of the game's main storyline, but are instead designed to seem like random chance encounters. They're meant to make the game world appear more alive, or unpredictable, and therefore more believable.
Or just make you understand more of what the world you're exploring.
In Grand Theft Auto V, one such chance encounter features a scene evocative of sexual assault, in which a young woman is being attacked and held down by two men on the side of the road.
Get off of me, you old pervert!
Walk away! Don't make this your problem!
The player can rescue her by killing her assailants, or simply watch the scene play out in front of them. These vignettes are not major plot points. Instead, violence against women is essentially used as a set piece to establish or punctuate the seedy atmosphere of crime and chaos-ridden fictional universes.
I mean, again, if it's crime written, I mean, again, I don't agree with it, but to an extent, again, it showcases the kind of world you are in, playing in the game. What did you not expect, in terms of like, let's say in a crime game, to be crime? Again, it's fucked up what happens in certain games, but at the same time, you can't expect there to be no violence against people in an area where there would be that type of, theme or, situation.
You like that? That feel good? Fuck!
It's meant to paint the gaming environment with a harsh brush, but it ends up doing so on the backs of women's bodies, casually sacrificing female characters in the name of setting a ruthless narrative tone.
Doesn't this happen to men too? Especially in games like Fallout. I mean, it's not just women, it's also men. You're not even showcasing the situations with men. You're only focusing on the women, as to make it seem harsher.
It's worth noting that there are striking tonal and thematic similarities between female victims used as background decoration and other tropes we've discussed in previous episodes. The second installment in the Assassin's Creed series, for instance, features a sequence called Damsels in Distress, in which the player must hunt down a man who has murdered a female prostitute.
Come, join us, Ezio. Have a drink. Meet the ladies.
Murderer! Butcher! He sliced Lucia and stole
So,
her money!
Mr. Ezio, let's see just how talented you are. After him!
During the sequence, the killer will run and take a courtesan hostage.
Don't come any closer, or I will carve up another one.
If the player gets too close, the assailant will slit
Don't
her
make
throat
me kill again.
and run to the next nameless courtesan. Take her hostage, murder her,
It wasn't my fault. She laughed at me. She made me do it. Another one.
then grab another,
On your hands.
murder her, grab another, and another, until the player manages to shoot and kill the perpetrator from a sufficient distance.
Leave me alone.
The Witcher games include a variety of side missions involving the player character attempting to rescue or protect non-playable sex objects from assault or rape by...
Wait, hold on. It just dawned on me. If you have the ability to shoot, you just allowed, in terms of, because you just pointed out that you could just shoot him. So, you just dragged on a whole scenario for this point to show a bunch of women getting killed. I'm sorry, who's the one that allowed that to happen? If let's say in the event that you were actually playing the game, considering the fact that it's been noted that you don't actually play the games that you showcase, doesn't that imply that you took part in this man killing the game, or killing the NPC women? Which I have to ask, who's the real monster then? Because you basically took part in actually doing that. But anyways, continuing.
by thugs.
Will you help me? I fear the dogs and thugs, but I need to get home.
Some men are troubling my girls. Take care of it and we'll compensate you generously.
Okay.
In our first episode, I described the damsel in distress trope as playing into
Again, you're in a fantasy world, and it's almost dystopian, especially with, again, the situation where you're dealing with a ton of monsters. Do we agree with, some of the choices that some of the NPC characters had to be put into? No. Do we understand? Yes. And we got Mario.
Form of objectification, because traditionally damsel characters become the central object or goal in a competition between men. I explained that in the game of patriarchy, women are not the opposing team, they are actually the ball. Female characters that fall under the background decoration trope, however, don't even rise to the level of importance necessary to be pawns in someone else's game. Instead, these women are brought on stage for the express purpose of being victimized in front of the player, after which their battered bodies are whisked away, swept back behind the curtain, never to be heard from again. Returning to Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption. In most settlement areas, players are treated to randomly triggered events in which female prostitutes are assaulted and murdered by Johns amid a torrent of misogynistic slurs. Players are presented with the choice to either intervene and save the women for a small cash reward, or simply watch the attack play out in front of them as part of the entertainment.
Help! Someone!
And
Stinking whore!
again, this goes back to what I was saying a little bit ago. So, to make this point, you literally, in the event that, again, you were actually playing this game, you literally allowed this to happen. To make this point. I mean, in any normal circumstance, the person is basically just going to, I wouldn't say in any normal circumstance, person will probably see that, deal with the assailant, and then go about their business in the game. That's it. That's all they're going to do, more than likely. A lot of people will just do that.
I'm gonna cut you a new hole. You think I'm a joke? Go on then! Laugh, bitch, laugh!
If the player sticks around long enough, or leaves and then re-enters the same location, the scene will eventually repeat itself again and again, very much like the animatronic vignettes in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland.
Oh, God.
Whore, I'm gonna cut you a new hole. You think I'm a joke? Go on then! Laugh, bitch, laugh!
The audience is meant to briefly gasp at these acts of brutality, before their attention is directed elsewhere, towards the next event or set of enemies to be...
Or, more likely, a person is going to, again, maybe take a second to, stop the assailant, because they're not assholes, and go about their business afterwards. Again, you basically, again, in the event that you did actually play this game, you allowed this to happen. To make this point, to make it seem like, oh, gamers are bad, because they, don't care.
Dispatched. Regardless of the player's actions in these types of situations, the result always paints women in a regressive light, as they will end up as either helpless damsels or dead victims. On a shallow surface level, these vignettes seem to contextualize violence against women in a negative light. However, these narratives are never really about the abused women in question. Instead, depictions of female pain and victimhood are flippantly summoned to serve as sideshow attractions and storylines about other things altogether. In Ubisoft's Watch Dogs, scripted crime events randomly generate throughout the game's open-world environment, some of which graphically depict incidents of domestic violence.
So you think you can just leave me?
Jesus, you need to stop following me.
Come on, babe, don't be like that.
I've had it with you. You're nuts.
That's it. I've had it with your lip.
Dude!
And yet you're allowing this to happen.
These scenes are programmed to repeat themselves randomly dozens of times during gameplay.
You think you're leaving me? Huh?
Jesus, you need to stop following me.
I'm not done with you. Not yet.
You need to get out of here right now.
I'll fucking kill you, goddammit!
Again, it kind of shows us that you're kind of the asshole for allowing this to happen. Again, other people are going to be looking at this, and immediately, as soon as this occurs, they're going to immediately intervene in the game. Because, in a sense, that does gain them points to, it's just, are we really talking about this seriously? And again, I want to point out that in terms of the game, again, it's not real. It's not a real. These aren't real scenarios or based on. It's just dumb. It really is. And you act as if you know what gamers... You pretend to act... You act, sorry. You act as if you know how gamers are going to react or respond to certain things. But in reality is you don't. You don't know how people are going to respond. And you're hyper fixed on the fact that, you know, there are, you know, women in a video game, and in terms of like a fictional setting, how women are treated. But in a sense, perpetuating the same thing by creating these scenarios and not doing anything.
No, don't!
If the player reaches the victim within the 10-second intervention window, the woman can be rescued by killing her abuser. However, if the player doesn't reach her in time, she is murdered and the perpetrator will flee, providing gamers the opportunity to hunt you down. Tellingly, if the player gets too close to the assault before it occurs, the abuser will be scared off and the player will fail the mission.
Hey, we need to talk.
Gaining no experience points and no boost to his reputation meter. The only options available are to wait until the assault is in progress, then either take out the perpetrator during the assault, or take him down after the assault has happened.
Hey, we need to talk.
There's nothing to talk about. We're done. Deal with
What's
it.
so fucking wrong? I'm not done yet.
I gotta stop him now.
I'll scream.
Oh, I'll teach you. We're not done. We're not done. I'll fucking kill you.
No game mechanics are provided to call an EMT, administer first aid, or check in on the victim. Meaning that these female characters exist to be assaulted, in order to give the player something to do, a reason to chase down the bad guy, exact vigilante justice on him, and gain the allotted experience points. After which the women are casually discarded, forgotten by the game and its characters. Of course, there also exist scripted events involving male NPCs, but those encounters are framed in distinctly different ways.
This is the place. This guy is going to
You got some serious shit to
Nobody
sort out with
nearby.
the boys. Oh, man, someone's playing you, man. You never fucking learn.
When the victims are men, sexual objectification and sexual or domestic violence are almost never ingredients in the scenario. Even the countless male thugs and henchmen the player mows down in these games are depicted as active aggressors, not characterized as passive victims.
What?
Plot devices that capitalize on female trauma for shock value function in much the same way as the hitting a child or kicking the dog tropes do.
No one defies that the impatient.
There, you happy now?
It's casual cruelty, implemented as an easy way to deliver a quick emotional punch to the player, by presenting attacks on characters specifically designed to appear pitifully vulnerable. These scenes serve no real purpose in the plot other than to let the audience know that the perpetrators are truly deplorable monsters.
Never speak of my mother like that again.
Whore! Think yourself a hero, do you?
I mean, to an extent, I mean... That's the... In terms of the game, I mean... You're either playing the hero of the story, or you become the hero based... I mean, with an RPG game, like let's say Skyrim, Fallout, or whatever, you basically you put yourself in the shoes in that scenario. In other games, like let's say, I'm assuming, The Witcher, you play and basically are following the story or exploits of the main character, Geralt. I mean, in a sense, especially for a lot of situations where you're playing a game, I mean, you don't want to be the asshole now, do you? Especially when, when you're playing a game, it can negatively impact you and the environment.
Sail away, and I'll burn these sluts alive!
You wanna check out the dental plan, bitch?
Oh,
Besito! Besito! Don't be so conventional! Look at that ass, huh? Magnificent. I'll save her for later. Or I'll kill her and all her family. They're probably rebels anyway, huh?
So, in addition to helping paint a gritty picture for the rest of the game experience, this kind of sexualized violence against inessential female characters is exploited by developers as a sort of cheap, one-note character development for the bad guys.
Let go of me! Stop, please!
It's a party, isn't it? Grab a whore and have a good time.
I mean, that guy just seems like a dirtbag.
The hunt, boys.
It's just a goddamn whore, man. A goddamn filthy whore.
It's a lazy shorthand for evil, meant to further motivate the protagonist to take the villain down and help justify the excessive violence committed by the player in these games.
I mean, isn't that the I mean, in terms of like, so what? So, do you expect people to just like play when they play video game to not feel anything for the characters? I mean, again, I can't believe I have to fucking keep repeating myself, but it's like, in terms of the scenarios, the games themselves are fiction. They're not real. And it's been proven time and time again that what happens in a video game does not affect people in real life. So, we need to cut that crap. But, considering, we're partway through looking at some of these videos, I doubt that's going to be, ever brought up. But, overall, in terms of these scenarios, I mean, in terms of playing the game, I mean, a lot of times, a developer has to get a person motivated to play the game. And a lot of times, you're going to have things that are uncomfortable to deal with. Just situations where, in a sense, like, it puts you in, like, the shoes of, like, the character. Again, what would you do in this situation? Yeah, I will say that some people are assholes, some people are weird. But at the same time, like, the mass majority of people, when they see something like that, where they see a person, getting hurt, a lot of times it's like, hey, that person's getting hurt. I'm going to go save them. Or I'm going to help them. It's not because we get some sexual gratification for it. It's because we're not assholes. I think that's the major thing. We're not assholes. We see people we see people getting hurt. We see people getting exploited. But we're not gonna fucking be like, oh, hey, it's this. I just saved this woman. I want a piece of that. Like, no, it's not. That's not the fucking case. We play the game, we help people, and you know what? We go about our business. That's it.
After all, if the random thugs or villains are so heartless and vile they attack helpless women, then the player can feel completely justified and even take pleasure in murdering them in ever more gruesome ways.
Where's your respect?
Oh, thank God. That was so awful. Did you hear what they were saying to me?
These women and their bodies are sacrificed in the name of infusing mature themes into gaming stories.
Sacrifice would imply that there's something, real going on, which, again, video game, it's not real.
But there's nothing mature about flippantly evoking shades of female trauma. It ends up sensationalizing an issue which is painful.
No, it's not just female, it's just trauma. But regardless of that, you made the point earlier that a lot of these areas, like, kind of showcase, the environment. Grand Theft Auto is full of crime. A lot of fucked up people. If anything, it's a parody of the crime drama, crime genre trope. So to an extent, you kind of get what's going on there. Far Cry, I mean, you're on an island full of pirates. There are going to be people that are going to be fucking exploited there too. The Witcher, fantasy setting, almost dystopian. BioShock, and I'm going down the list, dystopian. Dishonored, dystopian. Red Dead Redemption, almost periodical in terms of its setting. So, you're going to have people like that. It sucks, but again, it's history. God of War, that one's a weird one. Hitman, I mean, in terms of certain areas where you're dealing with the underbelly of, like, some of the worst fucking people, in one situation, literally being in a brothel. I mean, again, you understand. Prototype, which I want to point out too, because I've been playing a little bit of Prototype on and off. There's only been, like, besides that one scene, there isn't much of that. So I don't know why that's in the same vein as some of these other games. Grand Theft Auto 5, I already talked about that. Brotherhood, there is maybe one or two instances where that has occurred, but that's it. That's about it. Mafia, never played it. Far Cry 3, played it. Watch Dogs, I literally end up losing points by killing a freaking sex trafficker in that game. Yeah, no joke. There was one guy that's a complete asshole in that game that is berating people. And he was part of the one mission where you have to track down and gain information on a bunch of sex traffickers. This dude was such an asshole. I was like, fuck it, I don't care of my points. I'm going to, deal with this guy. And sure enough, again, I lost points for doing something that, in any situation, somebody would have been like, this needs to be done about something. Metro, I haven't played it. I've heard that it's supposed to be a really good game. But again, dystopian area. You, in a sense, you kind of get the feel of what's going to go on in a dystopian area. The darkness, again, in a sense, kind of like a crime genre mixed with supernatural. You get an instance of, some of the the worst in terms of the crime area. But at the same time, again, the Brotherhood, they have no qualms with, killing both men and women. Thief, I played a little bit of that. Again, dystopian area. And Assassin's... Basically with Assassin's Creed games, So, in a sense, with each and every one of these examples that you posted, each has explanation of why some of the content is there. Are we going to be complete assholes and ignore it? No, we're not. A lot of people are going to be smart. They're going to be like, or at least be in a sense empathetic and be like, hey, this person's getting attacked. I'm going to go attack them. Regardless if they get points or not. That's basic humanity and empathy.
Painfully familiar to a large percentage of women on this planet, while also normalizing and trivializing their experiences. Sexual and domestic violence is at epidemic levels in the real world. One out of every...
In the real world, not in video games. Real world, what happens in video games does not correlate with what happens in real life. I think that needs to be the initial message. Is it does not affect or increase what's going on in real time.
5 women in the United States will be raped in their lifetimes. 1 in 4 will be sexually assaulted. And women involved in prostitution are at a much higher risk of violence because they're seen as vessels to be used by others, rather than as fully human. So when games casually use sexualized...
So, here's my question. So instead of, focusing on what's in a video game, how about you actually focus on what's actually going on in real life? I think that's, a big question for a lot of people when you discuss this. It's like, if you're focusing on something that isn't real, that was made up. And by the way, I want to point out too that in this situation, because you have more likely in books and TV shows, you also have this sort of narrative that is brought up every once in a while in terms of again, TVs, books, comics, so on. Should we start banning various shows or denouncing certain shows because they have a particular theme or situation in a movie, or TV show or comic book or book? That'd be a little bit difficult. It just, again, we're going back to the fact that a lot of these things that she's bringing up, a lot of things that are going on in movies or video games in this instance, is fictional. And has no part in what happens in the real world.
Violence as a ham-fisted form of character development for the bad guys, it reinforces a popular misconception about gendered violence by framing it as something abnormal, as a cruelty only committed by the most transparently evil strangers. In reality, however, violence against women, and sexual violence in particular, is a common everyday occurrence, often perpetrated by normal men, known and trusted by those targeted. The truth is, the vast majority of cases are committed by friends, colleagues, relatives, and intimate partners. The gendered violence epidemic is a deep-seated cultural problem present in the homes, communities, and workplaces of many millions of women all over the world.
Yeah, in the world, real world, not in video games. Again, video games do not or influence what's going on right now in real life.
It is not something that mostly happens in dark alleys at the hands of cartoon villains twisting nefarious-looking mustaches.
Who did this?
That monster, Malfato!
Did you see him?
That way!
I should also note that the problem cannot be solved by simply finding the bad, evil men and killing them all, as these game narratives invariably imply again and again.
This must be karma. Travis touchdown.
Spare me the mystic crap. I came here to fight.
That's fucked up. But it just... I mean, I'm gonna say this. I haven't played this game. But... one, it goes to show how fucked up the villain is. And two, kind of shows up how screwed up the hero is. But again, I've never played that game. So there's... it's just...
I see the rumors were true.
Over the past decade or so, we have seen a dramatic rise in angry male anti-hero narratives, in which the player character is ostensibly a bad guy. In some of these games, violence against women is then used as character development for the protagonist.
Wouldn't.
That's enough.
Whoa, she's all limp. I didn't even hit her that hard.
It just makes our job easier.
Grand Theft Auto 4 requires the player to kidnap a woman.
Stop this thing, you slime bag!
Stop being such a fucking bitch! Calm the fuck down, or little birdies will be eating your brains off the dashboard tomorrow morning.
During this mission, the protagonist character insults her and beats her unconscious.
You're fucking with the wrong girl, asshole. I am Gracie Ancelotti, and I...
Shut up! Peace at last.
Later, the game instructs players to smack her in the face before taking a ransom photo.
Come on, Gracie. I want you looking pretty for the photo.
Lord Kratos, no. Please. Please, leave me be. I beg you.
I mean... I think in this whole scenario, I mean, let's face it. The main characters are assholes. Do we approve of what's going on? No. We don't. I mean, you're just by the way, you're showcasing one of the biggest assholes in gaming before he became a dad. Well, again.
Hold your tongue.
God of War 3 includes a segment where Kratos pushes a half-naked princess through a level.
Please don't kill me.
The protagonist then uses her body to jam open a gate to the next area as she whimpers in protest.
Lord Kratos, do not leave me.
After she is crushed to death, the player can then return to her body and look at her mangled corpse, at which point a trophy will pop up. This achievement is called, I didn't do it, but I wish I did.
I mean,
all of this is designed to convey that...
It goes to show up that... I mean, it just goes to show that, Kratos, once again, is a fucking asshole.
The protagonist is a ruthless, unfeeling, morally corrupt character who is capable of anything.
Hold on. Go back again?
I didn't do it, but I wish I did. All of this is designed to convey that the protagonist is a ruthless, unfeeling, morally corrupt character who is capable of anything.
One more time. One more time.
It's called, I didn't do it, but I wish I did. All of this is designed to convey that the protagonist is a ruthless, unfeeling, morally corrupt character who is capable of anything.
I mean... do I even need to say it? I mean, again, you just show Kratos. Again, one of the biggest fucking assholes. One of the biggest power-hungry, bloodthirsty motherfuckers in gaming. I mean, in his early days, again, before God of War 4. I don't care if it's called God of War, I'll just call it God of War 4. Literally one of the most bloodthirsty characters in gaming. Take a woman and basically... again, it's fucked up. Take a woman and basically have her crushed by a freaking, gate wheel. And you thought that he was gonna do what? Did you expect him to be nice? No! He's a fucking asshole. Again, it continues. If you've ever played, which again, because I doubt you've actually played some of these games, it's been proven time and time again that you didn't actually play a lot of the games that you showcased. He's a fucking monster. He's a tyrant. All he cares about is fucking revenge. Doesn't care who's in his way, what's in his way. He's just going to continue to persist and, accomplish his fucking goal. No matter who he hurts, no matter who he fucking kills. In the end, especially with, again, how the story has set him up, that's the fucking thing that he is. He is a absolute monster that goes and does what he can to get revenge on the Greek gods. Which, by the way, I should point out, are much bigger fucking assholes than him. But by the end, they just end up dead. But my point still stands, is that he is an asshole among other assholes. He just ends up being a better asshole. And you expect, again, it's like, what's the point? Oh my gosh, it's like she doesn't even know what the fuck she's talking about.
Again, we see female bodies sacrificed as a way to justify the ever more gruesome and extreme violence the player must commit throughout the game. Again,
It's God of War. The guy is a gruesome fucking monster. Again, he gets better with, the fourth God of War game, which, I find it funny that, what's his name? I can't remember the first creators of God of War basically denounced God of War 4 and 5. Didn't like how they went with the narrative for him. But it's like, dude, he's at first, you can only go so far as like making him a fucking monster. At least with 3, they try to humanize him a little bit, just a tiny bit. Now, you're also showcasing Grand Theft Auto 5, which, again, Grand Theft Auto, you got a bunch of people who are fucking criminals. You expect them to be nice? Come on, get real.
Some games that capitalize on scenes of sexual violence do so gleefully, while other titles may attempt to frame it as something inexorably tragic.
I mean, it is tragic.
When she was 10, her mother traded her for a bottle of wine. Few enter this line of work by choice.
Now, I want to say this, that voice you heard, there's a particular item that you get. And basically, if you don't have it equipped, you won't hear it. But if you have it equipped and you're looking at a particular character, it will speak to you in a way. By the way, there's a little bit of backstory involving this heart thing, but at the same time, it will give you a little bit of dialogue that you probably won't get in the main, as you're playing the game if you didn't have it equipped.
They thought they would be working in a factory. By the time they arrived, it's much too late.
But simply presenting depictions of women being abused, despondent, or suicidal does nothing to make them less sexually objectified, and does nothing to change patterns of perpetual victimhood.
I will say this, with that scenario with Watch Dogs, for a lot of people, it makes you more gung-ho to go after the fuckers that are, taking part in the sex trafficking ring.
There's a clear difference between replicating something and critiquing it. It's not enough to simply present misery as miserable and exploitation as exploitative. Reproduction is not, in and of itself, a critical commentary. A critique must actually center on characters exploring, challenging, changing, or struggling with oppressive social systems. But the game stories we've been discussing in this episode do not center on or focus on women's struggles, women's perseverance, or women's survival in the face of oppression.
Are you kidding me? There are certain games that actually do that. Again, Watch Dogs, where at the end of the day, like after the initial mission where you discover the massive sex trafficking ring, you can go after the people that were taking part in that. It's a side mission, but at the same time, you're allowed to go and focus on that if you wanted to, which a lot of people, including myself, end up doing. Because let's face it, we're not assholes.
Nor are these narratives seriously interested in any sort of critical analysis or exploration of the emotional ramifications of violence against women on either a cultural or an interpersonal level. The truth is that these games do not expose some kind of gritty reality of women's lives or sexual trauma, but instead sanitize violence against women and make it comfortably consumable.
Fuck off.
Now, to be clear, I'm certainly not saying stories seriously examining the issues surrounding domestic or sexual violence are off limits for interactive media. However, if game makers do attempt to address these themes, they need to approach the topic with the subtlety, gravity, and respect that the subject.
It's a fictional game. Unfortunately, oh my gosh. 1, again, it's not real. 2, with scenarios like those showcased in this video, I mean, there are, especially in I want to say in dystopian areas, things like that are going to happen. Do we agree with it? Fuck no, we don't. But at the same time, we understand, and in a sense, feel sorry. In some sense, get emotionally invested in trying to help in some way or another that we can.
Subject deserves. Though not about the abuse of women, the 2012 indie title Papua is an example of a game that respectfully deals with the very serious issue of alcoholism and domestic violence against children.
Okay.
The game does so by telling its story from the point of view of a protagonist directly affected by the trauma of abuse, not someone on the outside coming to their rescue. It focuses on the journey of a figure who is struggling through a traumatic situation and attempting to deal with the repercussions of violence. It makes that struggle to cope and survive central to both the narrative and gameplay, not peripheral set dressing to a story about something else. And critically, the game employs powerful metaphoric imagery to make its point instead of relying solely on sensationalized or exploitative depictions of the abuse itself. Papua is an intense and at times gut-wrenching game that doesn't sugarcoat or glamorize violence. In this way, it's an honest and emotionally resonant experience for players. We must remember that games don't just entertain. Intentional or not, they always express a set of values, and present us with concepts of normalcy. So what do games that casually rely on depictions of female victimhood tell us about women vis-a-vis their place in society? Well, the pattern of utilizing women as background decoration works to reinforce the myth that women are naturally fated to be objectified, vulnerable, and perpetually victimized by male violence.
No.
These games also tend to frame misogyny and sexual exploitation as an everlasting fact of life, as something inescapable and unchangeable.
Does it happen? Yes. Do we agree with it? No.
This dominant narrative surrounding the inevitability of female objectification and victimhood is so powerful that it not only defines our concepts of reality, but it even sets the parameters for how we think about entirely fictional worlds, even those taking place in the realms of fantasy and science fiction. It's so normalized that when these elements are critiqued, the knee-jerk response I hear most often is that if these stories did not include the exploitation of women, then the game world would feel too unrealistic or not historically accurate. What does it say about...
I mean, overall, it does, show how far, especially with, again, a dystopian world or a fantasy world, it goes to show how, again, I don't agree with it, but at the same time, it shows how, down in the dumps, I think is the best way I can put it, a lot of these locations are, where people are literally taking the worst jobs that they can just to make a living. It's fucked up, but at the same time, it's understood.
About our culture when games routinely bend or break the laws of physics and no one bats an eye, when dragons, ogres, and magic are inserted into historically influenced settings without objection. We're perfectly willing to suspend our disbelief when it comes to multiple lives, superpowers, health regeneration, and the ability to carry dozens of weapons in a massive invisible backpack.
Well, it's a fucking video game. You're trying to put reality into a video game which is fictional, which isn't really helping you, now is it?
But somehow, the idea of a world without sexual violence and exploitation is deemed too strange and too bizarre to be believable. The truth is that objectification and sexual violence are neither normal nor inevitable. We do not have to accept them as some kind of necessary cultural backdrop in our media stories. Contrary to popular belief, the system of patriarchy has not existed for all of history across all time and all cultures, and as such, it can be changed. It is possible to imagine fictional worlds, even of the dark, twisted dystopian variety, where the oppression and exploitation of women is not framed as something expected and inevitable. When we see fictional universes challenging or even transcending systemic gender oppression, it subverts the dominant paradigm within our collective consciousness and helps make a more just society feel possible, tangible, and within reach.
What? So, and I will say this. What the frick? Hold on. I'm trying to, like. So, I want to. So, just try to understand. I mean, you want a game where it's like a dystopian area to basically not have any of the themes of it being a dystopian world. In terms of like a crime genre, and I'm going general. In terms of like a crime drama game where you're literally, having to deal with the dark, just the worst of the worst, you believe that there shouldn't be any like signs of crime. That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Again, in terms of like, how characters are treated in a video game, one, it's fiction. What happens in a video game or what happens in a book, what happens in a movie or a comic book or so on, does not correlate what happens in real life. If you really wanted to focus on what's going on or how women are treated in real life, then actually focus on something that actually matters. Not focus on something that is, in essence, fake. Again, do I agree? Do I agree with how certain characters are treated in a video game? And I think a lot of people will agree with me. No. Do we understand? Because in the setting, it is in various settings, that stuff is going to happen. Considering that it's considering that it's somewhat based on reality. You've had scenarios in history where it was almost dystopian, where people had to take on jobs that they didn't like. Do we understand it? Yes, we do. So, I'm sorry, but as I know people are going to be like, this is fucked up for you to say. Honestly, it's... I have to, just ask, like, what would you expect? Like, what would you want in a video game? Really? Because, especially for developers that are trying to create a game, the whole goal is to emotionally motivate an individual to playing the game. And for a lot of situations where you see a certain character being hurt or harmed or the other thing, a lot of times people are going to intervene. They're going to want to take part and help that individual. Even if it takes time away from them, completing their goal. But overall, I think just a lot of gamers, they aren't fucking assholes. There are the special few, but a lot of them aren't. A lot of people aren't going to focus on, what a female character is wearing, what they're doing. In terms of advertisements, a lot of people aren't being like, oh, this is, half-naked woman. I'm going to, jerk off to it for, 40 minutes. No, a lot of people are like, huh, what a weird advertisement. Let's see what it's promoting. Just typing it up. Oh, it's a freaking game. Okay. What's the game about? Okay, you play as a hitman. Okay. That's it. In terms of videos like this, there's been a constant theme of, I want to say dishonesty from people like Anita Sarkeesian, where you try to act as if, you understand how people play a video game or who the audience is. Because let's be honest here, especially with current day, it's both men and women that play video games. It's not just men. And in terms of, you know, what certain characters or certain interactions, you know, women are playing them too. Who's to say that, you know, certain women are going to be looking at like, oh no, this is fucked up. I'm going to play this. I'm going to, you know. And here's the thing. Here's another thing too. Is like, if you really think about this, let's say in a sense, like hypothetical. Let's say in the event that a woman is playing a video game, she has dealt with those types of scenarios, and she sees something like that happen in the video game. Now, is she, let's say in some situations, yes, she's probably going to turn off the game because she's traumatized. Or to some extent, you're going to have a woman look at that and be like, I'm going to kill that dude for doing that to that woman. But again, it's a fictional setting where they are allowed to do that. Are they going to do that in real life? Not necessarily, but at the same time, it's, I want to say it to an extent, especially for some people in the audience, it's, you know, I want to say it would almost seem therapeutic to an extent to empower an individual to, you know, to complete a certain task, to, you know, take a certain action against evil. I think overall, again, it's this individual has tried to make it play it off as if it's just women playing video games, but that is far from the truth. Both men and women play video games, and both men and women get emotionally invested in a lot of the scenarios that occur in video games. So, and I would have to guess that some women end up getting, you know, aroused by, you know, particular advertisements that you showcased. People are weird. But either way, I think for now I am done reacting to this because, good lord, this was long. So, anyway, for everybody, thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, it's all in the description down below. As well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care. And I'll see you guys next video.